Expert Joints, and the website is expertjoints.com. And we were checking out some videos beforehand, and when you say well put together, it's a great slug, if you will, because your videos are well put together. You don't want to use very too often, but if you could in a scenario, that would be a place to put it. Very well put together, sir.
Well, thank you much. I appreciate the compliment. Essentially, how Expert Joints started and our whole well-put-together philosophy came about is like it says in the website. Our mission is to basically bring you the best quality videos and information associated with rolling that we can. I got tired of seeing videos on YouTube with, shot on a camera phone with hundreds of thousands of views showing you techniques that maybe aren't as advanced as they could be, or not as
researched, thought
out. Could be, by all means.
Exactly.
The idea was with the first ones was to create. It's not necessarily, in our opinion. Well, we feel that we roll the best joints there is, and our technique is the best joint around. The technique is the best technique available, but there are a million ways to roll joints, and everybody has their own preference. The best way is the way that gets you highest. But to me, that equates to a long, slow-burning joint because it's not the amount consumed, it's really duration of exposure too. So I try and go with a nice, long-burning joint. And our video is not called How to Roll the Best Joint on Earth. It is the best how to roll a joint video ever. And I stand by the fact that our How to Roll a Joint video that passed 100,000 views today, you can put it up against any other one out there. The production value and the quality of the information in there is, we feel, the best available.
You are absolutely right. It is bar none to anything, especially in the category that you're in with rolling joints. And you're right. So many shitty videos out there, but that's kind of the thing with YouTube. But it's nice in this way. It fueled a fire for you to be like, you know what, people are just disgracing this to a point. Something needs to be said and done, and why not me? In this case, you.
It just makes you want to watch it more, that it's professional, than to sit there and watch a cell phone. I usually click off. If it's a cell phone video on YouTube, it's just like, okay, I'm done. I don't even want to watch it. So it's good that it's all professional, and I don't really technically smoke that much, but just I'll sit there and I've watched a lot of your videos, so good job.
And you keep them to a good length too. They're not real long. They're only 3 minutes and change, 2 minutes and change, and that really is it's a quick in and out, but you learn everything you need to know.
You can only expect so much out of people who are stoned. It's amount of attention span. As much as I abdicate the fact that not everybody is your video game playing, basement dwelling, never can get a job, live at home till they're 40 weed smoker, there's nothing wrong with that still to some degree, but not everybody is that person. And I'm happy to break the stereotypes, and we feel that putting proper production value behind it really, really helps. And I think you're right, Icy. Even if you don't like to watch it, my mom, she doesn't like to smoke very much. Once in a while, I might be able to get her to, but she still appreciates the fact that they are well put together and look good and sound good. So I like that.
All right, so a little behind the scenes, just real quick when I go down this alley. The videos are like 2.5, 3.5 minutes, like Jamie was saying. It doesn't take 2.5, 3.5 minutes to make one of those, does it?
About a minute. Certainly 90 seconds or less, but generally around about the 60-second mark, I can put one together from pulling the nug out the bag, grinding it, to lighting it on fire.
No, exactly. I just meant the behind the scenes as far as the production of that. That doesn't take 3 minutes to produce. Those videos are so well done.
Thank you. I got to give respect to my team who's helped me put it together. Got a good graphics crew, got a good visual crew. I'll give them a quick plug. The guys from Red Castle Films here in Vancouver have been excellent at putting together these features for us, and they even helped us with a video for that you might have seen on there, a little music video for...
Yes, what was the Roll It Right?
Yeah, it won't win any music video awards per se, nor will the song win any Grammys, I'm sure, but it's a weed song. It was supposed to be fun. It was a good day. We got smoked out. You could see the progression of their, or the regression maybe perhaps, just the utter demise of, just like your radio show, starts out all good, and then by the end of it, ends up all like this. And that's how they were by the last scene at the last shot. You can really tell when they're at the Canna Clinic. They're like, let me roll it right. But the Red Castle guys got it done and made us look good. And Yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with them. They do fine work.
Well, I got to let you know, I'm not thinking about pressing any charges, but like my cousin and I, when we were about 14, thought of doing a very similar style, making a coffee book. We're like sick and tired of smoking with people that would let the shit run, that wouldn't light shit right, that would torch everything the first hit. And we're like, we felt so... No, I don't know if elitist is the word, but just we thought we were really good at it. We're like, no, we need to make a coffee book about this stuff. We just never had the gumption.
A book about coffee tables.
Exactly. You went the right.
What are you gonna do? We'll go back and we'll give Kramer the real credit for it. But I'm with you, man. Out here in Vancouver, British Columbia, home of the 2010 Olympics, we're also amongst one other thing known quite famously for BC Bud. We're the home of a little guy known as the Prince of Pot that the DEA had a problem with for a few years, a guy named Mark Emery. Pretty much the home of amongst the biggest 420 rallies every year. And we're known around the world to a lot of people as a place called Amsterdam. We're not at the point where we're legal here like Washington, Colorado per se, but we've got 60 plus dispensaries around here, and the official word for the municipal government is we're not allocating the funds to fight this particular injustice unless they're selling to kids or selling plants or stealing power. You know, they really don't care. Our federal government doesn't like it, but our Supreme Court has said you don't have a whole lot of choice. So we're still in some gray area up here, but the next potential election could see the Liberal Party, which would be more like your guys as Democrats, get into power and get the long-running conservatives, much like your Republicans, out of there. And the front runner for that campaign, leader of the Liberal Party, has said, if I'm elected, nationwide, marijuana is not just decriminalized or medicinal, it is recreational. So, Justin Trudeau, go vote Canadians. Hey.
A lot invested. I was going to say, being an American, we're very isolated that there even is a world outside of ours. When is the elections in Canada?
Elections in Canada, much like you guys, can run about every 4 years roughly. But they don't have to. They can sometimes go as short as a year and a half and sometimes go as long as 5. It sort of is depending on a majority, certain confidence, if it's kind of technical, but roughly about every 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay, roughly about every 4 or 5 years. That is a great system if you're president. Like, yeah, well, I know I'm going to be here for about 4 or 5 years. We'll get some shit done. Recreational or medicinal, and why?
Me, myself, or in general for like the better commonality of good?
I thought you might go that route. We're going to start with the common generality of good.
Medicinal, I think, is more important than recreational. Weed has been illegal or has been illegal for about 100 years. Depending on what report you see and why you see it, a lot of people say because it was undesirable characters who were using marijuana, or potentially, there you go, I was waiting to see one passed around. Nicely done. Some undesirables were smoking marijuana, and so it became illegal. But for thousands of years before that, it was one of the most used and versatile plants available. To me, I think there hasn't been enough research done in the last 100 years that there has been on other pharmaceuticals and I don't know, technology, whatever. I mean, a banned sort of substance, that's kind of what happens. You can only go at it so much. So I think the more and more that it's at least available for medicinal reasons, the more and more they're going to discover how it can help, you know, with the potential curings of cancers and seizures and on and on and on, all the stuff that a lot of the advocates will really push that it can do. I, myself, at this point, don't want to make the claim that weed cures cancer. But there are other people who are out there who feel that that's a fair claim to make, and a lot of other medical stuff that could and would come from weed. And I feel that it's too important for us not to explore it, at least to that way. It can help too many people. Even if you don't want people smoking it, Jesus, take the stuff out of it and give it to 6-month-old kids who are going to die otherwise. I mean, what the hell do you got to lose? That's my opinion on that.
Who would you put on your Mount Kushmore, your top 4 stoners? These can be a celebrity. These can be your best friend, Joe, if it needs to be.
Just because of all they've done, you got to give it back to Cheech and Chong. I mean, you can't help but put them up there. I mean, God bless them. And good for Tommy putting his things to it. Sell your rolling machines, homie. They threw you in jail for selling bongs on the internet before. Now you need to make up for all that lost time. So attach yourself to whatever you can, kid. Honestly, there's a cat up here. Do your homework if y'all haven't heard about Mark Emery, M-A-R-C. He's been a big advocate and a big activist up here for a long time. And love him or hate him, he's been a big proponent of the cause for a long time. And, he's got a magazine up here. He's got websites up here. He's got cafes. He's got stuff that just basically he came out enough years ago up here where he was like, I don't care if what you're going to do to me. We're going to let people smoke weed in our cafe, and the store next door, it's going to sell some bongs and eventually they just stopped bothering him, really.
He just kept doing it until he was just like a nuisance, and they were like, forget it.
Well, no, yeah, really. And then eventually he was selling seeds online to people in the U.S., and the DEA didn't like that, so they did a thing, and actually they essentially came and took him and 3 Canadians down to or tried to take him and 3 Canadians down to the U.S., and it was all a bit of is this kosher kind of moment? But anyway, he did 5 years down in jail down in the States down there, and he's back up here the last little while. Who else?
Yeah, you got one more slot to fill on this, Rock.
One more. Oh, yeah, because there's 4 on Mount Rushmore. I probably got to go back and give it to, maybe like the toss-up. Maybe the first guy who smoked me my first joint is kind of a nice default to that. Or maybe the guy who really... No, I'll give him a shout-out, to my homeboy J-Rock from back in my hometown.
J-Rock and the Rock Pal.
25 years ago I had started smoking, but it was really like 22 years ago. He kind of grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and was like, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you do it right. And smarten the fuck up. If you're going to do this, show some respect to it, and it'll take you places. And, well, Field of Dreams, here we are later. Less than a year after starting to send some tweets and building a website, putting out a video and saying, I wonder what will happen. We passed 100,000 views on our first video today, or almost at 200,000 overall, 1,600 subscribers on YouTube alone, over 2 million interactions, 27+ thousand followers on Twitter, and most importantly, we're here on the social revolution.
That's
Damn
right.
straight. Follow them at Twitter at expertjoints and online expertjoints.com.
Actually, going to be messenger and homing pigeons will be coming soon. Look to the
That shit
skies
gets
above you.
expensive, though, but yes, definitely invest. It pays off in the long
Messy.
run. If you could smoke with anybody famous, artist, band, what would it be? Or who, not what. Whom?
Who or what? I mean, man, it'd have to be tough to not smoke with like Snoop.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, shouts to cats like Be Real, and there's a lot of smokers out there who do it real proper. I as much as I'm not a fan of his video sitting in the hot tub, but Wiz Khalifa's video of him in the hot tub with 700,000 views and me shaking my head is kind of what started this. Honestly, truth be told, it even goes back a little further than that. The real story of how Expert Joints comes down.
Oh, let's
is
get it.
me
Let's
and
get
a couple of homies sitting on the couch drinking Appleton, and we sat down and was like, dude, how funny would it be if like you could roll joints for a living? Like, wouldn't that be crazy if someone like, I don't know, Miley Cyrus or Rihanna or somebody like that got you on their staff as like a personal joint roller? That'd be hilarious. Or some rich and famous, or even if they weren't rich and famous, but just some billionaire cat. And it was like, yeah, no doubt. Well, you got to put it out there to build the following to get their attention. So one thing led to another, and that's sort of what's going on at the moment. I haven't heard from any of them yet, but 4 months before Waka Flocka did his $50,000 a year joint roller, which apparently Seth Rogen got the job, but obviously Seth's not going to take it. He can make more monies off movies. I don't know what happened to that, really.
Maybe a cop-out.
Could have been. Well, he did get arrested a couple months later, picked up with a gun or something, I heard, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I put out a tweet with like, hey, rich and famous celebrity types, wouldn't it be dope to have your own joint roller? And then, like, 3 months later, out came the campaign. So I actually take credit for that. You down there with your billions down in somebody out there in Radio Land, we are available. And actually, a quick little plug, in the future, amongst other content, with some videos, articles, we're going to do some features with some other websites, some guest appearances, some more entertainment content. We're going to be doing some interviews as well, but we have a little tab on our website called Expert Assistance, and that's a program where we'll actually, for a minimal fee, are more than happy to either teach people how to roll joints or roll joints for them if they're unable to. And one day we would love to continue to expand and take it global, but those days are way off. But stay tuned and keep watching, because we're here to help in the best way we can, and we're glad to do it.
Well, hey, it's been fun having you on. This sounds like a pretty good time to put things wrapped up there.
Wrapped up.
At Expert Joints, YouTube Expert Joints, online expertjoints.com. You've been on with The Expert. We got to ask you this, though, before we let you go. When was the last time you smoked a bowl of resin? And you know you have, but when?
But when?
Like when I scraped out
you did it for the purpose of of smoking it, not just to clean it. But you're like, I need to smoke this.
Well, the last time I can remember that was cleaning a pipe and making a batch of oil. So does that count?
No.
It doesn't count.
You're too damn poor to buy weed,
You know
so you
exactly
have to have.
what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about.
And it doesn't clean just count just scraping the resin out of your grinder.
It's out of desperation.
Desperation. Can I get high off of this? Not even a roach left. That would probably be 1998.
Wow.
Nice. That's good, man.
Maybe 99. Definitely 15 years. For sure I haven't done it this century.
Wow.
It's been a good century. It's been good having you on, my man. Thank you so much. Check them out at Expert Joints. Expert Joints online and Expert Joints on YouTube and Instagram.
We thank you for having us. It's been the pleasure has been ours. And next time, if we're lucky enough to get back with you, I want to see you guys get your skills out. It's going to be a competition, and I'm going to judge the winner.
Definitely will. No, we'll be in touch via social media, definitely.
For sure.
All right. Have yourself a good night, my man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, kids. Y'all be good.
You too.
You too.